Hi, this is Josh Clark with this week's episode of Be Your Best. Today we're here in the third part of a series called Leadership Lessons in the Life of Moses. We're at the point in the story where we've already covered Moses leaving Pharaoh's palace, being raised as Pharaoh's adopted son. He sees a problem. He sees something that he wants to do something about. He acts in haste, though, and then he ends up spending 40 years in the wilderness preparing for the moment where God calls him into leadership. He's 80 years old, and then he says to God, listen, he gives 5 reasons why he's not the person. He says, hey, you've got the wrong man. Couldn't possibly be me. And then we see him finally, he says, okay, I'll do it. And then we see things you'd think that all of a sudden he's got the right heart, he wants to help his people, and then things just get worse. They don't get better, they get worse. All the people turn against him. They say, hey, who are you? We don't need you. We're not with you. He hangs in there. He pushes through. And then finally in the end, the people don't just leave Egypt. They leave with all the spoil of Egypt. It's unbelievable. In the end, there's a huge victory. All the people are celebrating. Wow, you're the man, Moses. And then here's a lesson for us, that in every leader's life, there will be ups and there will be downs. And we have to be prepared and committed that that we're willing to push through, not give in, not give up. And the people, here's what happened. The Red Sea is before them. And they look back and there's Pharaoh's army. The most powerful nation on the face of the earth. All these chariots and horsemen pressing on them fast. And all the people, they start complaining. They're in a panic. They say, Moses, would to God we had still been in Egypt. We've been better off as slaves. Who are you to have done this? Look what you've done. Now see, as a leader, that's hard. When you love a people and you see a vision, you want to be a blessing in their life. And then all the people, they go from celebrating, hey, we can do this, to all of a sudden they turn their back on you. They're saying, hey, who are you to think of this business? Who are you to lead us here? Don't you see what's happening? Don't you see the challenges? Don't you? And they all want to give up. Are you going to give up? That's the question. Or are you going to give up? Or are you going to believe God for a miracle? Or are you going to see that vision through? And that's what Moses was faced with. And he didn't give up. He says, hey, with God, we can do this. And see what happens at the last moment. See, in your life, there's challenges right now that are on you. But I want to encourage you, there will be a solution. It may not be in the timing you want. It may be at the last moment, the Red Sea parts. They pass through to dry land. And then all of a sudden, the Red Sea comes crashing down on all of Pharaoh's army. And they drown in the sea. And of course, there's a huge celebration again. See, right? The ups and the downs. And then we come to the second lesson that we want to cover today, and that is delegation. See, Moses is out there. He's a servant leader, right? He's waking up early in the morning, working hard till late at night. He's trying to do it all. And somebody comes to him, in this case, his father-in-law, and says, hey, Moses, I got some advice for you. Now, first, as leaders, are we willing to take advice? Are we willing to listen? Just because we've had great success doesn't mean that we need to continue doing what we've been doing. There may be a better way in order to bring about a greater success for everybody involved. And so he listens to his father-in-law and says, hey, Moses, first thing you need to do is go before God. You need some quiet time. You need to get away. Then you need to listen, develop a plan. Then you need to communicate this plan to the people. Then you need to empower people, bring people in that are capable, who can have skills, leadership skills, empower them. Bring people in that are better than you. See, Moses puts together a team, and that's what allowed Moses to be so effective. And so the question for you and I is, are we going to try to do it alone? See, that's one of my weaknesses. I've always been hardworking. I've always said, I can do more. I can work harder. But at a certain point, there's only 24 hours in a day. Are you willing to delegate? Are you willing to empower others? Do you recognize the importance of a team to make the dream work? Okay, and it's not just for you, but for everybody. Everyone will be held back unless you and I are willing to listen, ask for help, and then empower others. And don't be afraid of people outshining you, being better than you. A true leader puts together people who are better than them. And in the end, they see a tremendous victory. In the end, you'll look back and say, wow, look what we did together. So here's a challenge. Number one, recognize there will be challenges in the life of a leader. Are you willing to go through that? Are you willing to not give in and not give up? Ask for accountability. Ask for people to hold you accountable to that. And then even put together a team. Ask people to help you to carry out the mission. That's the second thing. Ask people to help you. Don't be afraid. All right, now if this video has encouraged you, I want to ask you to take a moment to share it with your friends and family, and together we can be a catalyst to change the world, one person at a time. Now, God bless and make it an awesome week.